All right, everyone. Welcome. This is ESL One Mumbai 2019, powered by Intel. We've got the grand finals here for the NA region. We've got Flying Penguins facing off with J.Storm. J.Storm coming from the upper bracket gets to start with one game win ahead of time here. And this is, of course, a best of five. I'm your caster, Moxie. I'm here with the very knowledgeable and very charming Jenkins Dota. Jenkins, how you doing today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I am good, and I see we got a disco pony pickup here. We've got a shadow shaman, an Ursa, and of course that bat rider. What are
Yeah,
your
these are
thoughts?
uh, polar opposite picks to what we saw the previous time these guys played. Presumably because there was recently a bit of a mini patch, I guess. Also, people are kind of figuring out the meta post when we saw those two like major tournaments happening at once. Everybody's like, okay, Viper's amazing, Life Stealers broken. Everybody knows Nature's Prophet's great, and like because these heroes are now being picked and ubiquitously strong, the meta has shifted around them, and J.Storm and Flying Penguins are trying to figure out what's best in that meta. And that's why we're seeing ridiculous first picks like Batrider, Lashrak, and Shadow Shaman Ursa. A complete polar opposite to what we saw 2 days ago.
I love the fact that like people are still trying out the meta, trying to figure things out. We've been seeing some really interesting support combos coming through, but we have seen Shadow Shaman picked up on the side of Flying Penguins before. I believe it was Flea who ended up playing it, and being the boss that Flea is, I believe he had an Agnum Scepter, a Blink, and Aether, and then was
Ether
on his way
Lens,
to
yeah.
like a Refresher. Got a
Yeah,
couple
he was
solo
he was
kills too, I think, too, if I recall.
he was huge. The funny thing about Shadow Shaman is that I don't think the hero's been touched for a few patches. Like he's felt pretty decent, but in the past
Silencer.
couple of days, at least watching this tournament, he feels incredibly strong. He doesn't just feel good; he feels incredibly strong. And Silencer pickup, that's a hero you don't see very
That's
often.
a hero I hate. I hope that J Storm wins this. Okay, thanks. We're
I
done here.
Yeah, I mean it's just like he presses R and it's like, aha, you can't do the fun thing about Dota, which is casting spells. No fun for you. It's
No,
like
no.
anti mage level stuff here
It's
with this
worse.
guy.
It's so much worse. So much worse. I hate this hero so much. He has the stupidest hats too, but you
He
know,
does
we're
have dumb
he
hats.
has the stupidest hats. They look so dumb. So dumb. But anyways,
And
yeah,
there's like a shield. He has like a naked person on his shield. Have you seen that one?
yeah, I think that's supposed to be like
What's
his
going on?
goddess. Whoa.
Oh, that's a such a March hero.
That
He
is such a March
loves Spirit
specialty.
Breaker. There's times where March will first phase ban and first phase pick this hero, and it goes untouched in like most tournaments, and then you'll just have a couple of days where March is first picking Spirit Breaker or banning it. It's like, all right, March, you got to decide, man. Is this hero good or bad? Come on.
It's like that and
Um,
Phoenix, it seems, for March usually, right? Those are the two big heroes that
yeah,
stand out for me.
that's another one that's like in that level where completely ignored in this draft. But in another tournament on another day, you might see like Phoenix first pick. It's like, all right, March, what are you playing at?
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut against two BKB piercing disables. That's interesting and a little bit difficult come mid game, but in the laning stage, Batrider is terrible against Juggernaut. You just spin off the napalms. In fact, I would say Batrider is kind of awful against the safe lane in general. Silencer Juggernaut. Silencer puts the Q on Bat every time he casts a sticky napalm, which is once every 3 seconds. He just takes more and more damage. It's a pretty hard counter, but
But
that
is it
might
gonna
make them swap it to support possibly. Who
I
knows?
was gonna ask too, like, yeah, he suffers during the laning phase, but as long as he gets those levels right on the Bat Rider, it's still pretty okay for him. I mean, obviously, you're hoping that he can get some sort of mobility item, whether he's going like drums first or force staff or what have you. Of course, the blink. But I don't think I think that Bat Rider should be able to recover, right?
Yeah, this Batrider's in a strange place. I'm pretty sure that he's largely underrated, despite being rated, decently. I think most people wouldn't say Batrider is a bad hero by any means, but I think that he's a lot better than people give him credit for. Like you said, it seems like he always catches up in the late game. It seems like
Oh, we have a meme.
so. This is maybe a like mid Leshrac, and then a Batrider 5, something like that, and then that allows for this Spiritbreaker Darkseer lane, and we'll have a Batrider versus an Ursa Shadow Shaman, which I think would do relatively well, assuming that there's some strong safe laner with this. Although there's a lot of kill potential. Like if they do lane the Bat versus Shadow Shaman Ursa, and there's some strong safe laner, whichever team gets the first kill is going to annihilate the other, because there's so much kill potential for Bat on Ursa Shadow Shaman, but there's so much kill potential for Shadow Shaman Ursa on the Batrider too. So whoever gets a lead in this game is going to look really good, I
Well, that's
think.
always been kind of the name of the game right now for this current meta too. It's whoever comes out of the laning stage. Generally, it is incredibly hard to bounce back, coming from the other team. And also, keep in mind the mean combination of the Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer. We're going to see a very, very swift Space Cow running in and out. And I also like the fact that they've got this added mobility for the Batrider. So yeah, he might struggle in lane depending on where he is, what his position is. But if you can surge him up, he can get right in there very, very quickly. And how are they going to slow him down? The only way that
Oh
they can
yeah,
slow
I
him down is a
mean,
Shadow Shaman right now.
especially considering the Darkseer Surge now puts you past your max movement speed. And Batrider he obviously goes for a lot of movement speed items, picks up Tranquil
Hmm.
Boots, and the Firefly now gives you movement speed. So if you surge a Batrider, he is very fast. This man will he's like lightning. He's like the Flash. And speaking of which, Spirit Breaker, exact same thing, except he does damage based on his movement speed.
Hmm.
And Spirit Breaker's charge is now it basically adds to his movement speed. So
I look forward
and
to
then of
seeing
course
him
the
one
bash
shot
bash damage
silencer.
comes from yeah he actually could like
Yep.
the Darkseer is such a good pick in this game. And then Leshrac has one of the highest base movement speeds in the game, and he has a movement speed talent and builds into movement speed. And Sven has high movement speed.
We've
Like
got
this
a
is a perfect
speed
Darkseer draft.
speed demon draft. Speed
Yeah,
demon draft. I like
this
this
is
a
like
lot.
a right, and like Sven's have been going, like Sanjin Yasha, even Drums, Phase Boots. So like all of these heroes are so fast. Um, God, especially the Spirit Breaker Darkseer. Like when you think of Spirit Breaker Darkseer, you're thinking, oh, the Iron Shell, right? On the Spirit Breaker. It's like, nah, dude, you don't even need the Darkseer's damage at all. You just surge the cow, and he's just two hitting silencer. Like this is not going to
I
be a fun game.
This is literally the catch me if you can draft, and all flying penguins have is Flea. I'm guessing it's going to be Flea on the Shadow Shaman. It could be wrong. It could actually be Lelis. But you only got two disables on one hero right now.
They need some like magic damage, and they need some other disables. I think they
What's left though in the pool that like maybe you could get like a Dark Willow, I guess.
like
At least then you
Lena.
get the
Oh, Kunkka. Okay,
all right.
sure. Yeah, that's good. It's like pseudo disable. It's your relatively typical mid laner right now, and it's also magic damage. This hero, boat, torrent.
How does that fare against the Leshrac though? Is my question because
I
he's
think it
got to
would.
get pretty up close and personal.
I think it would do well against Leshrac. There's a lot of kill potential with any
Okay.
rotation. If he can get X on Leshrac, Leshrac is a low armor hero, and remember, cleave is based off of your armor now. So, um, it does strictly more damage like than it did before they changed how cleave works if
Mm,
your armor is low. So Leshrac is going to be
that's
taking
true.
quite a bit of damage from Kunkka, and he's a very low HP hero as well. So there's a lot of burst potential if he gets. But Leshrac is no slouch in the lane either. Like he's against a melee hero, so he'll do relatively well. As well, even if he can get some ganks, like the Kunkka can die as well. So look at Fierce Batrider.
I
That
know. I
looks
was about
so
to say
cool.
he's got the crow. That's pretty baller.
Is that
You know.
expensive? The crow?
Oh, it's very expensive if I recall. Yes. Hat game on fleek though for both of these guys. Obviously, Envy's got himself that nice Arcana over there, so he's clearly in the lead in terms of the hat race. But I'm liking the hats coming out from J.Storm. So
Can we talk about Lelis Silencer? Like, where are your items, dude?
it doesn't matter. All of his hats are stupid.
Yeah, I
I have
mean,
such a hate. I recently got to experience the Pyrian Flax's guide to Silencer, where he is just extremely angry and hates that hero too, and it was great fun.
You know why those videos do so well? It's because Dota is a game that it's like fueled by these negative emotions. It's like I want to play, I want to win because I hate the enemies. I want to win because I hate Silencer. I want Silencer to like. It's all about using the negatives to make things positive. That's what the Dota community, and I know this. I've tested this theory because I've made videos where it's like, all right, I'm gonna make a negative video today, like top 3 most terrible heroes in Dota that are trash, and those videos do way better than the like best heroes in Dota. They do way better. I don't know why. Dota is just all about, oh, I hate this guy. I hate these pubs. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's
This is
an
a
emotional game.
pretty amazing mount though over here on this Bat Rider.
It's pretty nice.
Pretty
I wonder how much it
fancy.
is.
Oh, you can look it up. You have the power of the internet.
Crow,
You're not
Crow
running camera like I am.
Empiric Incendiary. Let's look
T-Tour is
this up.
brought to you today by Moxie.
I'm googling it, by the way. This is why I've gone silent. I want to see how much
Go
this
for
is.
it. Go for it, dude. I'm just looking at everybody's
Crow of
starting
Empiric.
items and whatnot. What's going on down here?
Not
There's a
gonna
lot of
lie,
people in that line.
that is like a wordy title for a crow. It's wordy. Oh, it's actually like 20 cents.
It's 20 cents. Oh my god, I need to get
20 cents.
Turn on Envy, place down that ward right on the cusp of the sentry over here. That's a feels bad, man. March is feeling pretty happy about it though. Easy 100 gold, 1 CS to start the game. Good stuff right there.
Dude, March is like a quarter of the way to level 2. That's actually really important. Level 2 on Spirit Breaker with Darkseer. That sounds scary. If they can get level 2, like typically the team that gets level 2 first in an aggressive lane will do extremely well. Oh, we Flea TPing bot versus
they're
Silencer
actually
top.
making rotation. You're gonna see if they can try to get this advantage out. And they did have the oh no, they had the Ether Shock actually. A little bit of miscommunication maybe. I would have thought that the shackles would have been better there.
Yeah, maybe it's they're hard kills though. The level 1 Blade Fury does 400 damage, something like that. Let me look what it shows. Yeah, 450 damage. So it's not quite enough to kill somebody at level 1, but
Right.
it is good. It is good harass.
This is going to be a problematic lane, though, I think, for these guys down here, because they don't have any, like... You'll get sustain eventually on the Juggernaut if you want it, but this double Ion Shell, too. Flea's got to just stay pretty far back. He can't afford to get burnt down by that.
And March is level 2 already. That's he could rotate mid, be very effective with an Ion Shell. I think you're fine down here if you're Envy eventually. Like Jug is typically a counter to. You gotta drop that Quelling Blade, Envy. He missed the last hit. Oh, he did now. He put it in the back.
Flea, one bash comes out. They don't have the double Ion Shell right now. They just have the one, but he's still taking a decent amount of damage. Can he turn this around, though? Can he maybe... Nah, Ether Shock, he needs a little bit more. He needs a little bit more damage, but he's keeping them off of his Jug, which is good. And Jug can just focus on farming. He's actually moved the creeps over to this camp, too, which is very smart.
That is super unfortunate that those creeps ran into his tower. Now he's got to be out of XP range for the melee creep dying. Oh, no.
GG.
That actually sucks. But I think Jug will do fine down here eventually. It's like, he has the healing ward, which is great, but he also has just level 2 Blade Fury, which will kill the entire wave. So he can just keep spinning the wave, and they can just ditch. Like, they don't need to be down here in this lane. Jug's good against Darkseer, because you can just spin.
Flea is getting beated in pretty hard right now. Yeah, there's a charge. Ion Shell coming through here, burning him down. He's pretty fast, though.
March is not getting lucky with these bashes.
No. We say that now, though. He's holding on to them. He's waiting for that opportune moment, right?
The problem with running around and trying to bully them like that is Francis is level 1. Like, it's giving Envy free farm, which is great, but like you were mentioning at the start of the game, without the shackles, there's very little kill potential with the Jug Shadow Shaman lane. Like, it's a good lane, but you need those shackles, and if you start with Ether Shock, then you need level 2. But he's just following them around and bullying them. I think it hits a certain point where you don't do this anymore. And I think that point is coming up soon. Like, you're going to be level 1 against 2 level 3s, and then you just feed by doing this. It's going back to get some experience. This is definitely the correct choice, I think.
Let's check in with some of the other lanes over here. Let's take a look at how Move's doing versus Snake King. Seems like he's doing a pretty decent job. He's sitting at 11 and 6, although Snaking just running at him, being a big old bear over here. Sitting at 6 and 2, but
yeah, I think fear is the reason in this lane that Moo would have anything. This Ursa hero should completely dumpster a Sven in any lane situation, unless there's like a Batrider, because Batrider dumpsters Ursa. So that's why I love this hero as a support, man. But Moo has got to be careful with this Ursa. He's got only one Tangle left.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that Lelis is just trying to keep Fear as occupied as possible, so that way they can make some more moves.
Right, that's why it's like a weird lane. You have the Silencer, which counters Bat. You have the Bat, which counters Ursa. You have the Ursa that counters Sven.
Alright, well we have level 2 now over here on Flea. We've got that spin coming out from Jug, and I think March is going to be the first blood. Flea holding on to that Ether Shock just for the last minute to get that KS. He needs it though, right? Because he is behind on levels. Envy is actually level 4, which is great. And because of that kill, Flea sitting at level 3 now.
Yeah, this is really great for them down here. I'm actually kind of surprised that they picked a Darkseer into like they already had the Juggernaut, I believe, and picking like a Darkseer Spirit Breaker lane.
Roya, was no one doing a decent amount of damage. He's gonna be able to die behind this tower. In comes March. It's gonna allow him to help out. Torrent comes through. It doesn't matter. Brawl finds a kill, but he will get taken down. That's +2 int going over to Lelis.
Yeah, that's huge. That's an int hero too that's losing int. It's very unfortunate when you're like a Storm or a Leshrac and you need your mana, you need your base damage, and you die to a Silencer. What's even more frustrating though is if you're a Pudge and you die to Silencer, because if you die to him like twice, you don't have enough mana for your combo. I don't think they kill Envy here. There's no way.
No.
He doesn't care about those.
They just want to scare him off the rune. That's all. And it looks like Forev grabbed that one. He'll grab the other. This is giving a little bit of space up here for Snaking to just kind of bully Moo a little bit more, and he's starting to catch up in terms of CS. 19 and 2 right now to Moo's 22 and 6. But that's one thing that I'm
surprised Moo's doing so well up here, actually. Like, I feel like Ursa should completely destroy a Sven.
Well, I think it's about to get a little bit more difficult for him right now because Flea is making this rotation over here to the tower. He's got the Shackles. We'll start off with the Hex, follow up with the Shackles. Got plenty of these beautiful Fury Swipes. One more hit, and that's another +2 int going over for Lelis. Fear needs to be careful here too. Snaking just running right out. Doesn't want to dance though in the middle of all that lovely Firefly.
Speaking of Pudge, this Sven is another hero who has, you know, mana costs that he needs to deal with, but like 279 mana. So if he had his Stormhammer leveled up, he would not be able to press God Strength and Stormhammer. Like if he loses 2 more int, he can't use both of those spells. He needs a Mango or some sort of int.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Look at this Flea going right back in again. They get the Hex, they get the Shock, and they're just going to try to burn Moo down again, though. He uses the Stormhammer. He's got the War Cry. Snaking. He pops that Salve. He really wants to try to get this kill, try to get some more int taken off of our good friend Moo here, who is now stuck in the corner. I don't think the Silencer is close enough, though, so that is the one saving grace right now. But yeah, definitely don't want your safe laner dying like that. Mid lane.
Legitimately so game ruining. Oh my
God. Actually gonna just get taken, and he uses the boat too, to no avail. That's on cooldown.
That was just a solo kill. I mean, he just wasn't expecting the amount of damage that comes out of Edict. Most people for a long time have been maxing Lightning Storm, so you make that calculation in your head. And you're like, there's no way Leshrac can kill me, but Edict does like 4,000 damage at level 4. He's gonna get the tower too. Ryle's a huge issue.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually thinking about charging in over here on Lelis, but he is pretty far in. I think the Leshrac is sitting too low. He doesn't want to follow him up, but a little bit of movement down here in the bottom lane. Forev all surged up. We'll get X by Ryoya. Not going to be able to run away from that. Torrent comes through, and they'll be able to go spin on top of Forev, and Eternal Envy going to be able to get the kill.
My God, Envy's level 7, and Ryoya is 6. That's very rare that you see a mid laner that's has less levels than the safe laner, but Jug has just been essentially kind of playing his own mid lane down here. He's just soloing versus creeps. I think Envy's going to be a pretty big problem for the Dire, but Ryle is an issue too.
Lelis over in the mid lane. He's opened up with the split. Earth Torrent comes through. They've also got a boat, but we'll be able to go land over here on Brawl. He doesn't have enough damage, though, I don't think. He's got the bottle, but I don't think he wants to go and pop it. Just going to play Ring Around the Rosie here with Brawl. Brawl, he's turning back around. They want to see if they can get this kill. If they get this kill, that's a feels bad, man. Ryoya's just going to get taken down, and Brawl, where's the taunt, bro?
That was super patient from March too. That was March's salve that he used on Bryle. Like, Bryle held one bottle charge for when the silencer dot wore off him, and then they salved him too on March. So, like, they were both being very patient with that. I could see people freaking out and just using it early and then losing that kill. But they didn't. They were patient.
Well, definitely paid off, that's for sure.
Fear's taking a nice little stack over here. Damn, Fear's going bots blink as a 5 bat. I guess you have a Spirit Breaker, so he'll essentially become the 5. And I mean, March is obviously usually the 5. It's just a weird. So when you have Spirit Breaker and bat, it's like who takes farm priority? Both of those heroes are kind of weird.
For sure, we're seeing
kind of 5/4s.
We're seeing. We've talked about this too. We've seen very interesting. All right. Well, Fear is most likely dead here. Shackles comes through. Raya thralling up with the torrent, and Lella's gonna get some more int. We're only like 9 minutes into the game, and he's got 6 int. That feels really good for your silencer right now. As much as I hate to say it.
What's more problematic is that like people are losing int. Like look at Batrider's int right now. So he had 435, and then he respawns and has 411. He actually doesn't have mana to cast Firefly, Flame Break, and Flaming Lasso.
That's a huge problem.
He might not have mana to cast Firefly Lasso. Like if he uses one Napalm, he can't cast it. Like that's a huge deal for a like this hero has high mana costs, but he just doesn't have great mana. This is a great silencer game if you're getting in. That's like the late game in silencer. It's more that you're just stealing it from people, and it's so bad for them. God, being Pudge against this hero is so infuriating. If he kills you once, it's like, oh, yes, I need to buy a soul ring now. He kills you once, you're charged 800 gold. It's like the entry fee to an amusement park or something like that.
The entry fee for actually being able to play your hero, right?
Yeah.
Pay to play.
You wanna play this fun, free-to-play game that's Dota?
Ooh, if they can catch him here. Look at him. He's trying so hard. We'll get the Hex off all with the torrent. Yeah. That is,
Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Why
didn't he get in? He wasn't close enough. He wasn't close enough.
Oh, no. Lelis, come on.
I know, that was an opportune moment to make this Batrider the saddest Batrider that ever Batridered.
I mean, one more death and he's done. You know, one more death and he's gonna need like a null talisman.
Yeah.
It's the entry fee. It's like the silencer entry fee to play the game.
Yep.
You're charged a null talisman for dying to him once.
Alright, well, they do use the Serpent Wars here in the top lane. Here, he's gearing up. He does have enough mana right now if he wants to go in with that lasso, but he needs the rest of the team to kind of join him. And they're all going to be fighting around the shrine because they found themselves a Lelis here, so they'll get a little bit of revenge. And now, still looking for this opening, trying to chase after Jug's. Going to go ahead, try to close the gap, but they won't have it just yet. Envy pops his drums and should be able to get out. Look how fast that Spirit Breaker was. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was close.
That is some ridiculous.
March actually has 2 levels in the Charge of Darkness. I suppose that's so that when he gets to level 6, which he has, he can set up for his Nether Strike and not have like a Juggernaut spin. Like if you have the level 1 in the charge, it doesn't stun for long enough for you to set up for your Nether Strike without like somebody spinning or like Lifesteal using Rage. It's not enough time. So the level 2 point's like an effective point for that reason. He's actually 2/2/2 on March. That's an interesting build. I feel like you probably want to max Bash in this game just because you have that Darkseer.
So I'm a little concerned here because we talked about how Envy's had so much space, right? He's able to get his levels up, he's able to get his farm on, but if we take a look at the net worth, right now the 3 cores on the side of the Dire are just neck and neck. Right underneath Envy, and that's the thing with J.Storm too, right? We've seen these guys like come back from, you know, being pinned against the wall, and they almost always recover.
Yeah, and
whereas Envy, if he starts to slide a little bit,
right,
does have a difficult time.
How great is Jug really in this game? I think like in the laning stage, it's good because you're against a Darkseer, so it's a counter. You're against a Batrider potentially, it's a counter. You don't die to Leshrac, he's a magic damage hero, but like when this game progresses, you have the BKB piercing disabled, that's the Batrider lasso, you have Sven who gives armor, you have Spirit Breaker who's BKB piercing. Like Jug is not a great hero in terms of mid to late game in this game. It's not like some anti-mage or PA that will solo carry you. he's kind of countered, you know. So they're going to need to do something with him, I think, earlier on into this game, relatively soon, or it's just going to get harder and harder for them.
Agreed, for sure. They actually had a smoke on smoke action going on down in the Radiant jungle, but neither of them were able to do anything with it. I believe it was Lelisnay and Roya that were smoked up, and did have the smoke coming out from March and Brile, but didn't find anything. Just have a couple wards, though, over here keeping tabs.
Yeah, these are good wards. It's a really good ward. They see exactly where flying penguins are. The Radiant wards aren't covering that much. They're very defensive, actually. I guess Lelis, he's been kind of going on his little solo warding missions. Because Francis and Lelis haven't really been playing that much together, and I think the large amount of like the tempo in this game has been controlled by like Francis and by Ryoya making rotations, and Lelis is just kind of showing up instead of like, you know, smoking through the jungle and putting wards down. Lelis has just been kind of like, all right, I'm gonna walk over here and ward. So maybe they could go for some sort of smoke rotation, get some deeper wards up, because I think this is fairly limiting when you have wards like this. Like, it doesn't give you enough vision to farm safely. They're all sitting in their own jungle, except for Envy.
You are a true friend.
But he's Jug. He feels like he's not gonna.
He should be able to just spin TP out if anything terrible.
They do have the
occurs.
lasso. They do have the Spirit Breaker, which is concerning. But like in this, like, you know, dual camp area of the offlane jungle, it's fine for him. Like there's.
Oh yeah, and they just saw that March was over in the Radiant jungle too, because smoke popped and Snaking saw him, so they know that.
But the moment he shows, he has to be careful.
Right.
The moment he shows in lane.
And that's one thing we've talked about too at J.Storm. They're really good about not revealing too much. They try to stay off the map whenever possible and just farm up, and then whenever they do show up, it's usually like trying to bait or doing like for a specific objective. But anyways, Brile is kind of creeping around over here, trying to see what he can find out. Did walk right by a sentry ward though, so, and they know that he's in the vicinity.
Was it sentry plus ward? Yeah. So
sentry plus ward. They saw him for sure.
So they saw like a little glimpse of him. So
and if you notice, they all walked away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's the Invis strongest guy on the enemy team, and they do they see Forever? No, they don't. They're just walking into the jungle.
Just looking for an opening.
Behind. Yeah, they're going for mid.
It's gonna be the jump over here.
Moo is not in like a fighting position in this game. He's got max cleave. He has no fighting items. He's got farming items. They just want to farm, but.
And a double damage rune right outside the Roche pit. Envy, Snaking, everybody just runs on in. They use the Serpent wards too. So this should be a fairly free Roche for them, because it doesn't seem like anyone on the side of J.Storm is particularly concerned about this, or knows that it's even going on.
God, this is something that we see J.Storm do a lot, where they just don't fight. They probably could, but they know that they have a stronger mid to late game timing, so they're just waiting for that, like literally sacrificing Roshan. I'm pretty sure they knew that was happening. I mean, when the enemy team has an Ursa, they take the mid tower and immediately walk towards the Roche pit. It's just so obvious that it's happening. But like J.Storm, they just don't feel the pressure. They know that they have a superior late game, and
that's
I think I'm inclined to agree.
We've literally like had the same conversation, I think, with J.Storm. We've seen them play, you know, matches like this where they're like, okay, well now they have to fight into us, and we're okay with that. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna let them do what they want to do, and they're not gonna get away with it.
I think you would see
much
worse teams fighting that
Ooh,
Roche.
Lelis. There's not going to be a silencer ulti if you're dead, my friend. He is immediately taken out. Bo's going to get used, though, over here onto Brile. Brile in for a little bit of trouble trying to juke himself around. There's going to be the lasso coming through. Going to pull Snaking back again. He does have that Aegis here. Spin's coming through. March trying to run himself away. Pulling right back into the wall again. Ryoya is trying to get out. He cannot. They'll be able to take him down, and now Snaking looks like he's going to be in for some trouble, too. The Aegis gets popped. They still have everyone alive over on the side of J.Storm, though. It's not a problem. Brile getting ready. We'll be able to slow down Snaking. Isn't that lightning storm? And they're still just chasing him down slowly but surely. And it looks like Flea also getting chased down. Both of these guys just have to get back into their base as fast as possible. Either shot comes out, not going to be able to do quite enough damage, but it's enough to give them a little fright.
They're
these shackles.
They still silence their ulti. Like, J.Storm needs to be real careful right now.
I think they just take the tower and get back, as the chat ping line says, although they're coming right over here to the shrine. March gonna run right into Snaking the follow-up with that silencer ulti, as everyone else tries to run themselves away. And it seems like March going to be the sacrificial lamb over here, as he does get X'd up, and Snaking gonna be able to get that final kill after the torrent.
I get why they take that fight despite having better late game and avoiding the Roche fight. It's because when you kill the silencer first, you know that you're fighting a team without global. That's really important. And fighting there secures the tower, so that fight makes a lot of sense. But the moment silencer's respawning, it's like, alright, now you're fighting into a team that's just much stronger than you at this timing, and they have an Aegis, so get the hell out. And they did. They just lost March. It could have been a lot worse than it was,
sure.
I think. If they had lost one of the cores, it would be devastating. If they lost Brile, that would give Penguins a really good timing to get some towers and apply pressure. Moo's looking to fight. I'm surprised that he's looking to fight with just a Sange pickup.
Well, I mean, they're hoping maybe they could get the pick off on Envy, because he did show in lane over here, and they've got to know that he's farming up.
Yeah,
I say gotta know, but over in the mid lane, March getting a little sassy over here, trying to save Brile. It's another +2 int, though, going over to the side of Silencer.
My god.
I think actually pop the drums. Gonna run into a lot of people here, Envy. I hope you're prepared for this. Wall gets dropped, though. March gonna go resuming in. Nice Storm Hammer coming through, though. Moo trying to find his opening onto Flea. We're gonna be able to find it here, and they'll take him down. They're gonna try to just TP Envy out. They're not gonna get that bash that they need, so Envy gonna be able to run himself away. Ryoya might be in for a little bit of trouble here. They're trying to chase him, and look at how fast this team is. We talked about them being a speed demon, but it's definitely proving it. Lasso comes out, they'll drag him right back again. Ryoya will get taken down.
Moo just immediately starts hitting creeps. I mean, he's...
Moo? Oh, but the love, the hug coming out from March to save his booty will be enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, Moo didn't have Warcry
Bless
after
March.
that. That was Moo's just so confident in this game. Like, he just starts farming the enemy ancients.
Where's the tip going over from March for the Delta hug there? Because I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, that was good stuff. That was some good supporting. Runs
Yeah.
in, so don't worry, I have bracers. Those will protect me from your blades.
There's a lot of love there. Oh, but Snaking, you are on the wrong side of the river, my friend. There's the Yules coming out. Just need a little bit more damage, and pop goes the bear.
Yules is honestly just so good against Ursa. There's a lack of Yules against Ursa in pubs. If people would go more Yules and Atoses, this hero probably wouldn't be as much of a scourge, because he pops that ulti, you Yules him, and he's just so sad every single time. It just lasts like the perfect duration. Almost the whole Enrage timer. Until he gets the talent.
The TP out there.
Look at Fear's build, just Boots of Travel first. He did this on Earth Spirit as well. I had an Earth Spirit in a pub the other day that went travels first, and I'm just thinking like, oh my god, Fear, why did you do this? Why did you ruin pubs? And now he's doing it again. He's just a 4/5 bat. He's a support bat, and he went travels first. Like
Fear cares nothing about your petty pubs, Jenkins.
He's ruining his own pubs too, dude. I'm sure people are going travels in his pubs where it's completely unwarranted behavior, and it's like, all right, dude. Maybe it's not a good travels game. Maybe you shouldn't do it every game. But maybe I'm wrong, because he's just going travels every game, so... Travels bottle.
Move just left the rest of your team behind here. We've got a very fast Space Cow making his way down to the bottom lane right now. I think this might be a dead Flea.
Oh, Flea is
oh, they go right past Flea and they actually go for Envy here, but Flea's still probably going to be in for some trouble. Guardian Greave's going to get used. The Silencer ulti coming through, and they do have the wall. Bryo now taking a lot of damage here coming out from Eternal Envy, plus all these wards are doing quite a number right here, right now. We'll be able to finally find the kill over onto Bryle after they lose Flea. The drag coming out back here over onto Snaking. He's doing a lot of damage. One bash coming through. These wards are causing so much problem. No one is paying attention to them. We'll be able to help take down March, and now Lellis. He's trying to run himself away, but a hasted up Moo going to be able to find that kill, take down that healing ward. He needs some help, though. He is disarmed. He is against 3 different heroes over here. Where is this help? Where's the backup? You're going to have to come in here. Throws down the Fireflies, looking to see what he can do to help out Moo. And he is going to be able to run around in circles. There's going to be a boat coming through and an X. Is it going to be enough to take him down? He'll take down Moo. And now Ryoya running himself out. He will get burnt to death forever trying to run himself away. Luckily is a very, very speedy. Snaking also speedy, but maybe not quite as much, especially with that blink on cooldown.
that was like I know that looked like a relatively uninteresting fight just because it was just they just went in and casted all their spells, but I actually find that fight really interesting because it's very rare that you see in games that two pro teams just think that they have better trade than the other and they all just man fight. Like that was a straight man fight between these teams. Both teams thought that they could just walk in, cast all their spells, and that they would come out on top. And like it was so close. That was like 1-for-1 trades, and the game is very even. So it makes sense that it's close, but it's rare that you see that. Usually it's like, oh, that was a good pick off, so they go for this fight. Oh, they got a good smoke, so they go for this fight. But that was literally just like, no, we have better numbers than they do. And then the enemy team is just like, nah, our numbers are better than yours.
It's Arcane Rune over here on Brile. He's hungry. We'll pay attention, though, over here. There's going to be a TP out. Ursa feeling like something's a little off. No one's showing in any of these lanes. Fear's super hasted, but he's not quite ready to make this jump.
The mid creep wave. He saw Brile kill the creep wave from smoke.
Got it.
So because Royoya's camera movement was good in this scenario, they know that smoke was happening. It's unfortunate when that happens because you literally have to have your camera on the wave or you just don't see it die. So kudos to Eric being active with his camera.
So a little bit of smoke on smoke action here. So doing a bit of scouting. Looks like Snaking gonna have a BKB up fairly soon, which should help their cause quite a bit. But
Yeah,
again, they do
Moon
have
also is
BKB
close to
piercing
his.
stuns, so
Yeah, Moon Brile also are very close to their BKB, which would be great against the Silencer and the lockdown of the Shadow Shaman and Kunkka.
yeah, I think that's
But
very. I think it's scarier seeing that BKB getting picked up on Moon Brile for sure, comparatively to just Snaking here.
It will help him out though, a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Dark
they wouldn't be
Seer,
building if it
all
didn't
the
help
traps
them.
damage. Yeah. Hey man, sometimes people go like Boots of Travel and Batrider. I'm just kidding.
Hey man, if it works, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, gives him movement speed. He's been active around the map. It honestly seems like a perfect 4-roll item if you can afford it. It's just very greedy is all. But everybody's building Midas. So.
Choo choo, here comes March. Nope, never mind. March is going backwards. All right.
Oh,
March is going to run right into Snaking. Have to
Flea's dead on the bot lane.
run himself out. I believe March is also dead if he's not careful here. We've got a big old bear saying, give me a hug. Yeah, there goes
March needs a charge target.
He's got a
There we
charge. He's going to make it.
Amu's killing the wave. That's where you get angry with your team for just pushing all the waves out. Come on, man. Where's my charge target?
Oh, just chill. You just chill, right?
I've always thought it'd be kind of cool if they put something that you could charge in the fountain, so Spearbreaker could charge back to base.
I feel like that'd be too broken, right?
Who knows?
It's too
I mean,
easy.
if he's good, yeah. If he's a good hero to be broken, but if he sucks, like this hero sucks in a lot of patches. So
That's true.
depends on the patch.
I'm glad he's not in like every single game though. Like I'm glad that this is one of those heroes that is very niche. I get tired, like especially
good.
playing support. Like I get really tired of being constantly charged.
You're just
at.
dewarding, and he just charges you. And even if he doesn't kill you, it's like, come on, man, my life's hard
Just
enough.
leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's like that, and
pretty
when you
annoying
see
hero.
the Roche is up. It's gonna get pinged out by March. It's like when you see the Tinker slowly Boots of Traveling in. You're like, I'm not getting away from this. I am going to die right now.
This is the end for me.
Yeah, this is how it ends. This
I'm
is how
done
I
now.
always knew it would end. The laser rocket, rearm laser rocket to the face.
I'm glad that hero's not in every single game. Jesus.
God, there was a
Talk
time
about
when it
cancer.
was super prevalent, man. It was
I
awful.
like playing that hero. Don't get me wrong. Tinker's really fun, but he's not fun to play against.
No. Can definitely agree on that. All right, so just gonna go running down mid. It looks like. Gonna push out these waves. What's the plan here, J.Storm? There is a Roche up.
Pushing all the waves, choke the penguins into their base, and then possibly
That sounds
take the
terrible.
Roche
Choking
on.
penguins. That's an awful thing to say,
It does
Jenkins.
sound
That's terrible. Think of all those
Does
scuttling Scotties
Well,
being held
you know,
hostage by the bounty hunters.
there's a lot of animal abuse in this game, to be honest.
That is true, considering
Couriers
the amount
dying,
of
choking, killing.
yeah.
So this is a violent game. It's supposed to be a
Oh yeah.
children's game, Val.
This is
Come
not
on.
a children's game. We've had this conversation, Jenkins. The charge coming through, though. We'll get to 2 for 1 target over here. Fear jumping forward. There's the BKB coming out from Snaking, but you know what? They're just going to allow him to walk himself out. They drop the wall here, too, hoping to maybe just slow them down just a little bit, but looks like they're not going to be so lucky here. And look at this. Eternal Envy. He TP's out, and he just goes right back to farming. Classic Envy.
Fear uses his regular TP to go bot, so now he has the travels available if his team wants to fight. This is why the travels are really good. Like, you use them in this way, where you can simultaneously deal with split pushing and push out the lanes, and he can show up to this Roche fight that's happening right now. Pretty nice.
You're gonna have to
I don't think he's gonna
hustle over there. He is gonna show up. I don't know if it'll be in time though. Again, March jumping into the pit immediately. Moo going forward here. They drop the Serpent Wards. Nice vacuum try to hold them all together, and it's still gonna be Bryle. He picks up the Aegis anymore, and they're gonna be able to take down March as well. Splitworth coming through. There's gonna be the Silencer ulti coming out, and it doesn't seem to matter because they have that BKB over here on Moo. He's just gonna keep chasing after Envy here. They got the X off, gonna be able to go and disperse over here, but now Fleet in for some trouble. There's a Split Earth coming through, and a lot of this lovely damage coming out from the Shrek will take him down. And still, Ryoya over here trying to run himself out. He cannot get away fast enough. The Speed Demon team is just always swoopity-swooting for that bootin'. My goodness.
If Bryle doesn't walk in there, take the Aegis, he took the Roche kill and took the Aegis. If he doesn't do that, that fight is a disaster for J.Storm. They had no wall, they had no Sven ulti, they had no Spirit Breaker ulti, and they were fighting into a Roche that was almost dead. Like, Bryle kind of clutched that, and I know he just kind of walked. He didn't blink in or do anything cool. Like, he just kind of walked in.
He doesn't need to blink in or do anything. Oh, Lelis in for some trouble. Followed with the Storm Hammer. A little bit more damage. He'll get taken down. Now Envy has to run himself away. He's gonna have to use that spin, but stuck in the middle of everything is Snaking. He's trying to run out. He uses that BKB. I don't know what they can hope to do though to protect these this tower and racks right now. It just feels like J.Storm has all the momentum all of a sudden. That fight really just opening up the doors for them. And it has been, you know, slowly getting stronger and stronger as we go. But now Envy in the middle of everyone here, putting some damage over onto March. Are going to be able to go. They get the shackles off. Can they hold him down? Beautiful vacuum coming through. They're hoping that they can get that cleave damage as they so desperately need. There's going to be the Torrent coming out again. Moo throws out the Storm Hammer. He's sitting a little bit low. He's feeling a little nervous, but he's going to go right back in because Spear delivers him a beautiful package. And now it looks like we're going to lose Snaking.
God, what a
play.
an end. Like I think that's kind of it. I mean, it's a 10k gold lead at this point.
Yeah, there's a GG.
Yeah, that's it. They don't have superior late game. Like that Roche fight, I know it was like a 2 to 3k gold lead, but that's not that much at 29 minutes. The game was relatively even. It's literally just Bryle walking in and taking the Aegis. It's nuts that a game of Dota can just end like that. And like, he didn't blink in and do some sick Aegis steal. He just walked in, happened to get the kill, happened to get the Aegis. He was the person that clicked on it first, and because of that, you can't fight into a Leshrac Aegis. But also, if you're J.Storm, you can't fight into like a Jug Aegis or like an Ursa Aegis either. If they got the kill, do you know how much experience Roshan gives at 29 minutes? Like, they all got like a level from it when they got the kill because Bryle walked in and killed it with the Edict damage. Yeah, that was I mean, obviously, kudos to them. They played really well, but it is very lucky to walk into a Roche fight without any spells and then just win because you take the Aegis and the kill on Roshan. Like, that's very lucky.
It felt like there was a lot of chaos in that fight too. Like, when you consider the fact that, you know, you have, the Darkseer didn't have that wall, but he also had the vacuum. So you consider, you know, you've got the vacuum and a couple people, you know, they immediately BKB, but you've got that going on plus the Serpent Wards. So there's just so much going on in that tiny pit that it's a little bit difficult to kind of figure out what's going on, what's your next movement, how do you maneuver around these Serpent Wards that have been placed down too if you don't have that BKB up and you've been dragged back by the vacuum. It just was a really...
Too.
Yeah,
like,
it was a crazy fight.
Kunkka cleave, you have Jug spinning and Omni slashing everywhere, you have silencer spells, you have Serpent Wards, there's a bear screaming, there's some like purple guy running around with a hat on.
There's
like
a goat doing the disco in the middle of everything, yeah.
There's so much shit going on, and Bryle just walks in, he's like, I'll take the Roche, I'll take the Aegis. And, you know,
thanks, guys.
That's
happy birthday to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, he just walked in, blew up the candles on the birthday cake, and it's like, but it's not your birthday, Bryle.
Well, it is now.
Birthday.
He's hijacked
like,
the
no,
birthday.
Look at me. It's my birthday now.
Right.
And it just like that, the game is over. Like, that was the timing too for Flying Penguins. This was like a wacky game.
It was
because
incredibly wacky. It was definitely back and forth, but we have more NA Dota coming up because this is a best of 5. So right now, J.Storm actually up 2 games because they have the upper bracket advantage, so they have 1 game added on. So this could be curtains the next game. This could be the end of Flying Penguin's dream to make it to Mumbai, but maybe they'll be able to flap those little wings and make a miracle and come back. But we will be back with game number 3, guys, so stick around.